Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator, and welcome back to Slavonsky Brod. But I hired a driver, and we're going to take some quick jobs. We've got 10,000 euro. We're not making money fast enough, and I'm worried we're going to get ourselves upside down here. So we want to take a job in Romania. We're looking to get over here and up into Moldova. Yeah, sometimes I'll just point to a city and I'll be like, yeah, here or here. You think I'm going to try to pronounce that? What's up with that S? It's got the little dangle thing on the bottom. I don't know how to say that. I'm not going to mangle it. Right. So I see a job going into Romania. I can't find anything going down here. We never could. We've been looking, trying to get a job coming this way. I don't see one. So I think we're going to have to go here and call it the next best thing. And that's what, 396 kilometers, and we're going to take it as a contract job, right? Give it a minute just to load up. Loading up. I'm going to hit the vape. While that's loading, I'm going to hit the vape, and then we'll... Oh, it's done already. All right. SSD drive doesn't want me vaping. So there's a couple reasons we'll do this. One reason is now, moment, and we're going to go back here and go to our company manager, and we're going to put Ellis. No. Is it the truck manager? We need to get Ellis. Or is it the garage manager? Is it? We need to get Ellis, right? Now, see, here's your problem. We need to get Ellis on the Scania S, because as it is right now, it's going to sit empty. And that's what I'm trying to... This is... We don't want to relocate it. Do we want to relocate it? Can we move it within a deal? Yes, we sure can. Okay. I knew... Well, I didn't know. I was pretty sure there was a way to do it. Okay. So now we've got... Who's this guy? We've got Ellis in the Scania, and we've got Eric in the Mercedes. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. I was pretty sure there was a way to do it, but it's not exactly intuitive. And you know, when I say that, I sound like I'm bashing it, like, oh, this game isn't designed exactly the way I want it to be designed. It made it difficult for me to reassign a driver, but we figured it out quickly enough. And maybe it is intuitive. Maybe it's just not intuitive to me. Right, let's see what we're hauling here. We got a little gravel trailer. Right. Very nice. Lift axle? No lift axle. No lift axle. Right. Break off. And where are we getting out of here? Is it to the left? To the right? Is it either one? It is. Right. Here we go. So this is, call it 400 kilometers. So we'll be done in probably 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And we got to start making some money. I'm not worried about going bankrupt. What I'm worried about is we're not going to make enough money to have any kind of meaningful upgrades or go truck shopping or buy garages or really do anything. We need to get a third truck, both to get another truck, because it's fun to buy trucks in this game, and also so we can hire another driver, right? So we can make more money, so we can get another truck. It's a vicious cycle. But we got to get there, and we're not getting there quick enough. And I feel like we did this. No, we left Novi Sad and we went to Slavonsky Brod. We went back to Slavonsky Brod. We went back the way we came last time we left Novi Sad. And this time we're going up into Romania, where I don't think we've been before. I don't think so. So we'll get there, we'll get out to the east side of the map. Now this allows us to do something else. Without teleporting, and without fast traveling, this is going to let us get back to Reims, because when we're done with this job, we're free and easy now. We've got our 2 drivers drivering, so we don't really have a home base. We could get back to Reims and just say we, I don't know, flew or whatever. This is okay. Taking a right here. Okay, cool. So you see what I'm saying? We're not tied to a physical truck now. So when we're done with this job, or when we're done with this part of the career, when we get out into eastern Romania and Moldova, at that point, we can just, I mean, we can buy a truck here and drive up into Scandinavia. We can do whatever we want, but we're not tied to a truck that we then need to drive back to a place before we can continue, if that makes sense. It does. I know you get what I'm saying. Because I would like to get a 3rd truck. I don't know what truck I want to get. I saw a download for, and I actually downloaded it and tested it in my other profile, but I saw a Ford Cargo mod. And I'm sort of on the fence about that, because it's I'm a Ford guy. I love Ford products, particularly old ones. And this is obviously, it's not old. It's a brand new truck, but I'm a Ford guy. So I thought it would be awesome to have a Ford heavy truck in Euro Truck. I'm just not entirely convinced that it's the best model that I've seen, particularly the interior. Hang on, I gotta do several things now. I'm gonna hit my dump button and cough. I'm gonna try not to wreck. I'll be right back. Right. It's not the best model, and particularly the interior is not the best. And as always, well, for one thing, we spend most of our time in the truck. I think most people that are making Euro Truck videos spend most of their time in cab. I don't know a whole lot of people that go 3rd person. But there's a modding team, and I want to say it's like Palatli. It's either got an L on the end or a lowercase I. It's hard to tell. And they make a Renault T series that's really, really good. If you go to the SCS Soft forum and look for Renault T, you tell me how you say it. I honestly can't tell if it's Palotl, or Palatli. Paloti. I don't know. Anyway, they make a Renault T. It's awesome. But in the thread, in this long thread, it's like 40 pages long for the Renault T that's been out for quite a while, several years, I guess. There's some teaser photos of a Ford Cargo, and it's gorgeous. I guess this team really puts a lot of time and effort into their mods, because it is 1.31 has been out for a month now, 6 weeks, and they've been teasing their Renault T for 1.31 for several months. So they're not rushing anything. I mean, they've got screenshots and like Blender renders, and you know, they're really making it. It's a beautiful mod. They're just not in any hurry to release it. So they seem pretty serious about what they do, and they've also got screenshots of a Ford Cargo that, to me, it looks done. I mean, the screenshots are of the Ford Cargo in-game and looking good, looking done. And they say, we'll release it when it's ready. So I don't know if they're testing it or if it needs more work. I don't know. But that to me, now there are no interior shots, but that to me looks like a really thoughtful and well-designed mod that, you know, the Ford Cargo that I just saw released, or just saw on one of the mod sites, is it looks very similar. And I know that sounds ridiculous because it's like, well, it's a Ford Cargo, of course it looks similar, it's the same truck. But you know what I mean, different mod makers have sort of a signature. and part of me thinks it's like an earlier iteration. I don't know. Something about it just doesn't seem quite right, and the interior is not done, which is not to say that it's 100% a stolen mod or fake mod or whatever, because there's some really good exterior mods. I love seeing tractors in traffic. There's some really good mods that have amazing exteriors and amazing physics and amazing sound and everything else. And then the interior is just not that great. So, could be like that. I don't know. Bottom line is, we've got a Ford Cargo in our inventory now. In our, we could buy one and build one. Well, we couldn't actually because we don't have the money. But if we had the money, we could buy one and build one right now. I just don't know how I feel about the one that I found. Whether I should wait for that Pallotti. I don't know if I should wait for them to release theirs. I don't know if they ever will release theirs. It's been a while. So it's that mod life. That mod lifestyle. I feel like we didn't go on time compression till we were well out of that city, because it's 400 kilometers. We've been driving for quite a while. We've only gone 50, but we're rolling now. So what I'm saying is, I'd like to buy a new truck. That's the takeaway from that long story. Is time to buy a new truck. We started with the Mercedes, then we sort of inadvertently, I didn't really plan to hop into that Scania, to buy that Scania and hop in, but we did. We've driven that for a few episodes. It's time for a new truck. We don't have any money. So the two things we need to do are make some money, and then we need to buy a new truck. And we need to figure out which truck. Zrenjanin? Zrenjanin? I don't know. Yeah, so now I've been thinking, oddly enough, I've been thinking about an Iveco highway. And that's very weird because I don't think I've ever owned an Iveco at all in any profile. I really don't. Moment, I got a cough. Can't shake this. It's not cold. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I can't shake it. So I've been thinking about that, and it's weird because like right now we don't have any money. We have 12,000 euro. In American Truck Sim, we have almost $2 million. We have more money than we know what to do with, and I don't plan on buying any new trucks, so it's just building up and building up and building up. Now, for one thing, there are a lot more trucks to buy in Euro Truck than there are in ATS. And if you're following my ATS series, I'm a Peterbilt guy. And let's take a step to the side for a moment here. Earlier I said I'm a Ford guy. I'm a Mercedes guy. Right? Peterbilt guy. I'm not saying Peterbilt is the best, or Ford is the best, or John Deere is the best. It's not. When I say I like Peterbilt trucks, I recognize how ridiculous that is, like how silly that is. I know there are some professional truck drivers that may have a legitimate, like, there's a specific reason that they prefer this brand or that brand, or, right? That's not me. I just like what I like. And the funny thing about Ford and Chevy, which is, if you're not from the United States, Ford versus Chevy is like this legendary battle People have literally been killed over Ford versus Chevy. People have been beaten to death and stabbed, and it's just, it's hilarious. Not people being killed, I don't mean that. But it's meaningless. It's ultimately meaningless. And people say, well, you know, these cars are unreliable, those cars are unreliable, but they're talking about like different time periods in like the 60s and 70s. But all cars, all trucks are so reliable now that it's really not even a thing. It's like way, way, way back in the day, in the 1940s, I want to say, 1940s, 1950s, there was a watch company called Timex, and their motto was, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And that sounds kind of ridiculous today, because today people don't even wear watches. But if you do get a watch, you get, you know, you go down to whatever, you go to Fry's and you get a G-Shock for $100, and it'll keep perfect time for 1,000 years. It'll never, you can knock it around, smack it around, right? It doesn't, it takes a licking. What's that all about? Well, in the 1940s and 1950s, watches were not very reliable. They had a habit of stopping. So to have a watch that was reliable, right, like you could build marketing around that. So it's the same with passenger cars and trucks in the 50s and 60s. They had an unbelievable breakdown rate compared to today, and the maintenance you had to do on them, and just all this stuff. Now, I mean, if you buy a new car today, you may not lift the hood on it for a year or two. No joke, like 20,000 mile oil, and cars tune themselves. They don't need tune-ups like they did back in the day. Plugs and points, jetting carburetors and all that stuff. It's just not, it's not something you have to do anymore. So for people to say, you know, Ford is unreliable, Chevy's unreliable, Mopar is unreliable, yeah, maybe in the 50s and 60s, but today all cars are so reliable that you just pick a brand that you like. It's like picking a sports team. You just pick one, you know? There doesn't need to be any logic to it. So when I say I'm a Peterbilt guy, I recognize that's just, did I make it? Yeah, that's pretty close. It's just something I picked. There's no logic to it. So I'm not, like, if you want to leave a comment like, oh, Peterbilt sucks, Kenworth is where it's at. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I'm right too. They're both awesome. So, that. But anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. What I'm getting at is, in our American Truck Sim profile, right, we're driving Peterbilt exclusively. Really. Let's take a look at what just happened there. Yep. I hit an invisible wall. It was going out a little bit to the right. So I didn't hook the curb on the left. But I did want to take a look there. Because anytime I hit something like that, if I can blame the game, I will. Got a cough. Yeah, if I can blame the game and have it not be my fault, I definitely want to do that. And while we're here, let's see if he took trailer damage. Nope. Okay, good. So for the fourth time now, there's no trucks to buy for us in our American Truck Sim profile. There's a 389, there's a 579, that's it. Now in ETS, there are a lot more trucks to buy. So you're going to do it again. Don't you do it again. Sweet. Sweet. There are more trucks to buy. And I also remind myself, we don't need a cap at 5, right? Like in our last profile, in our 1.30 profile, we capped at 5 trucks. But we don't have to do that. We can buy a second garage, we can have 10 trucks. I don't want to get into like 100 trucks. I don't want to have so many trucks that I don't know what truck to drive, right? I'd like to have a bit more structure and planning to it than that. But I know we capped at 5 trucks last time. We made money, but we didn't, you know. So I've thought about a lot of different ways to do this. One thing I thought of is buying another garage out in eastern Romania where we're headed. You know, if we have enough money by the time we get there, buy a garage in eastern Romania, then buy one up in Russia, Murmansk, or northern Scandinavia, far northern Scandinavia. Maybe buy one in Iceland, and then maybe buy one in the southern UK. So what I'm getting at is we would essentially like bracket the map. We would have our garages in the 4 corners of the map, and that would allow for a couple things. One thing, it would allow us in our profile fantasy, it would allow us to offer services like anywhere on the continent, because we have these garages spread out all over the place. In a practical sense, it would allow us to fast travel without teleporting, because there are 2 different things. Like we can travel to any garage that we own, and that's fast travel, or we can teleport to any city, well, any place really on the map. If you've got the coordinates, you can travel to any place on the map. But that's sort of cheating, and it's something that I do periodically where, like let's say the end of this episode, we're in Romania. Let's say the game patches tonight, and when it restarts tomorrow, it puts us back in Reims, right? Which it does when the game. Did I want to be over here? I feel like I wanted to be over there. I did. Yeah. Use that good traffic circle etiquette. Try to. But now, every time that goes exactly the way it's supposed to, I'm almost amazed that between me and the AI, we can like coordinate that. So when the game patches, it resets you to a safe place, which is typically the driveway of your garage in your home city. So let's say that were to happen tonight, right? And we're posting these episodes every Monday. So I could either drive back to Romania off camera, but that would add a lot of days and a lot of jobs and a lot of money to the profile, and it wouldn't really be sort of accurate to our goal of only doing things on camera, or only mostly doing things on camera, trying to. Or I could just teleport back there, and then when the episode starts, tell you, hey, the game patched, it reset us to Reims, and I teleported back to Romania, so we can't continue. You see what I'm getting at? If we have a garage in like the 4 corners of the map, then we can fast travel. There's one thing that sort of, I don't know where I'm at with that, and the reason is, now what's going on? Okay, this is a wee traffic circle. Oi. Here's the thing, the map is so big I'm here, just concentrating. The map is so big that it's like, it would be like saying, you know, I have 4 garages in the continental United States. I have one in San Diego, I have one in Seattle, I have one in Boston, and I have one in Miami. So we can really get anywhere on the map easily. Well, you can get to those 4 cities easily, but the distance between them is ridiculous. It's not like if you needed to get to Atlanta, you could just fast travel to Miami and then you'd be like right down the street. You'd still be like 1,000 miles away. Not quite that far. About 600 miles, I'm going to say. 500, 600 miles. But you get what I'm saying. Right, so we have a garage in Reims and we buy a garage in Romania. Let's say we need to get to Hungary. Well, you know, it's still like halfway between the two. You're not really close to either. So is there any value to buying those garages other than as places to assign trucks and drivers? And also in our immersive fantasy profile, as the owners of a trucking company, we want to have our fleet spread out enough that we can cover the whole continent. So it's like there's an immersive benefit. Oh, game. You were being so good. You were being so good. No, don't hit the guardrail. Oh, this one's going on forever. Oh, woo-saw. Is it just going to be like this forever? We're at 2 FPS. This is how we're going to play the game from now on. 2 FPS. I might have to edit this out. This is some bobo. It's, oh Jesus, it's just not stopping. I don't know what causes that, and it is making me effing crazy that happens. I don't know what's causing it, and I don't know how to stop it. And I'm literally on the point of buying a new computer to make that stop. It's got something to do with Shadowplay. Oh, man. I can't, I cannot tell you how much that bothers me. And it's one of those things where I gotta live with it. I have to live with it, or I have to not record videos, because I haven't found a recording software that works better than Shadowplay. The others absolutely tank my frame rate, or they make files that are so big they're not manageable. So, oh man. And this video will probably end up being 40 minutes, and that was like 10 to 15 seconds. As a ratio, it should be 100% acceptable. Yeah. 40 minutes versus 15 seconds. That's a piece of cake. But I look at it like, hey, remember that time we went to Disneyland? Wasn't that an awesome day? And you're like, you mean when that woman died on the roller coaster in front of us? And I'm like, yeah, but the rest of the day was awesome. Well, it might have been, but the dead woman on the roller coaster is what really kind of sticks out for the day. And I feel like that, to me, it's the same way. I don't care how good the rest of the episode is. The part that's screwy is the part that sticks out to me. I gotta get that sorted out somehow. Oh. Anyway, having garages in different places. I don't know that there's a real practical benefit to it. But we'll see. I mean, we've got time to think about it because we don't have any money. Let me try to get to my dump button and cough real quick. Be right back. Ooh. I'm trying to think what... I think we've discovered... Have we discovered all the dealers yet? I'm trying to remind myself to take a look when we're done with the episode. To go to the truck buying page, the dealer page, and see. I think we may have all of them. So, I don't know. I don't know. Part of me wants to get a truck that we've never had before. Part of me wants to get the trucks that we have had before, but the reason that I want to get them is because I like them, which is why we had them before. If that makes sense. Like what's this guy doing? Oh. Couldn't see the light. It's like I rarely drive Volvo, you know. So why not? Well, because I really don't like Volvo. They're great trucks. They're just not. That's not my brand. So if I got a Volvo, it would be just to get a Volvo. I'm not really, I don't really like them. I think you see what I'm saying. We could always roll a dice, literally roll a dice, when it comes time to buy a truck. But we've got, well, what would we need to do? We'd need to, we have a slot for it. We don't need to buy a garage, but we would need to either make 150 grand or pay down our loan far enough that we could borrow another 150 grand. And then what truck did I build the other day? Was it, I was a DAF. I was just kind of experimenting in the about page, and I built a DAF, and it ended up being like 240,000 euro. And it's one that we could buy now. Like, I didn't put any parts on it that we haven't leveled up to, so it's a truck that we could literally buy right now if we had the money. Got a cough again. Oh, dump button. My dump button is on the left side of my gaming headset, and obviously I steer with my left thumb on the gamepad. So when I want to reach up and hit the dump button, it's like the truck needs to be pointed straight on a straight stretch of road, and then I need to get up there and get back quick so we don't wreck this whip. Right. Yeah, we got time. We'll think about it. 167 kilometers. Do we need fuel? I think we're okay. Let's just roll on through. And that's the other thing, is then we need a quick job from here, and I'll take a peek there as well when we're done with the episode. We need to get a job from here to the southeast. I mean, I guess we could go straight over, like due east into Moldova, and then south. Like, we'll take whatever's available. And we can even, I don't like doing this, but you know, you can take quick jobs from any city that you've been to. So we can even take a job into eastern Romania from Novi Sad, where we just came from. But I sort of don't like doing that. I don't know what it is about that bothers me. It just feels like, it's not cheating. It's just, I don't know, it feels kind of dirty, kind of greasy, you know, unclean. We'll figure something out. What else is going on in gaming world? Do we have a little light up here? Do we have a little traffic light? We do. What else is going on in gaming world? E3 is going on. I haven't heard anything from SCS about either ATS or ETS2. So I have a feeling, I mean, there might be DLC for both of them. We're waiting on Oregon for ATS. We're waiting on the Baltic states for ETS. And I believe they're going to release, I've heard rumors that they're going to release a version of the special transport, the special cargo, right? Like with the pilot cars, they're going to release a version of that for ATS, but nobody knows for sure. But Oregon and the Baltic states are for sure. That's going to happen. So those two DLC, but as far as ATS2 or ETS3, I haven't heard anything about those. And I'm sort of suspecting that, moment please, I'm sort of suspecting that they're just going to continue patching and adding DLC to these, at least for the next couple of years. I don't think ATS2 or ETS3 are even on their radar at this point. And that sort of cuts both ways. I like the model of patching and updating. I just know that after a certain number of years, the core technology of your game is outdated. And I think we saw that with Dovetail, with Train Simulator, where they just patched that game up for what, 13 years, and now Train Sim World is out on a new engine, and it's just like a whole new sim. So I don't know how long SCS Soft can keep ATS and ETS going on the current engine. We'll see. For now, I'm totally happy with it, and like I said, it cuts both ways, because when a new one comes out, then of course none of our mods work, and we need to wait on the mod makers to bring everything up to date. It's generally worth it. Like, what you get from the new release of the game, or the new game, I guess you could call it. What you get from it is good enough that it's worth having to sort out mods. Farm Sim 19, I want to say October. I haven't seen a specific date for it, but they typically do it in October of the even numbered year. So we'll see how that goes. I'd like to, I don't know if they're doing pre-ordering, but I'd love to pre-order that, get it taken care of, get it off the books, so to speak. What else? F1 2018 is coming in August. Looking forward to that. I just got MotoGP 18. I got a long way to go to figure that one out. It's so different throwing a bike around than it is driving a car. That's very cool. And then a bunch of Le Mans and Endurance DLC and mods just dropped for Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa, and R Factor. So been playing with all of those. So yeah, it's been a pretty good week, I think, in sim gaming world. I've been having a lot of fun, and I like being on the schedule now. You know, where we're only doing one episode per week of Euro Truck. We're only doing one episode per week of American Truck. We're doing 2 farm sim episodes, one each of 2 different farms, and then we're mixing in Train Sim World, F1 2017, and one racing game. Either R Factor 2 or Project Cars, or Assetto Corsa, or World Rally Championship 7. And I think that's a good balance. You know, when I started the channel, I primarily wanted to focus on farm sim, with just a little bit of truck sim. But the racing sims are so much fun, and you know, I'm willing to let the channel evolve in any direction that it evolves to. I could care less. If I start getting feedback and people say all we want to see is farm videos, you got it. That's all I'll do is farm sim. People said do Farm Simulator 2017 and do Farmers Dynasty and do pure farming and do cattle and crops. You got it. That's what I'll do. But so far, I haven't seen that. In fact, the racing videos seem to be getting the biggest response. So, you know, I'm easy. I'll let the channel go in whatever direction it wants to go in. And over the past couple months, it's certainly gone in a different direction than I thought it would. I really thought it would be almost all farming videos. And I don't know how often too often is, you know, as far as frequency of posting. I know anything more than 1 per day is too often. So we're going to limit it to 1 per day, not 2 per day. It's hilarious. I'm such an idiot. I say 1 per day is perfect, so we're gonna do 2 per day. 1 per day is perfect. We're gonna do 1 per day. But as far as length of videos, like this, I thought this was going to be 30 or 40 minutes. I think it's going to be more like 40 or 50, might be an hour. You know, I don't know where people are at with that. I know, for me, I prefer long format video. I really do like it. And my thoughts have always been, like, you can fast forward. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you want to fast forward to the end. So, like in F1 2017, I'm doing full half-length races. And what I mean by that is I'm doing a 50% race length, but I'm showing the entire race from cockpit view, which is, it's kind of a big deal to me that I race in cockpit view, because a lot of people can't and don't. They prefer the T-cam. Doesn't make me a superhero or anything. It's just, you know, that just works for me. And I want people to see, like, I do this entire race in the cockpit. I don't change my view at all, and I don't edit anything together. This is 100%. Even if I suck, at least I'm being honest and showing you what I really did. So if you want to watch the start of the race and then fast forward to the end, you know, just skip to the end to see how I did, you can. It's not going to bother me at all. If you want to watch the first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, first and last, just the last, the middle, I don't care. You know, but if I make a long video, I feel like you have the option. And if I make a short video, I feel like that's more of me, not limiting, but, you know, you can't see what I don't post, so, right? Does that make sense? So you're just going to see the little bit. But if I post a big video, you can watch any part of it you want. So I think I'm going to stick with long format. And I also, there are some YouTube videos, particularly farming and trucking, that help me fall asleep when I can't sleep. And I think that's a part of this. I think that's part of this also, is that, you know, they say most art and most entertainment is made for an audience of one, and it's made by the artist for the artist. And I understand, I'm not saying YouTube videos are art or anything, but you know, the creative process, you know what I'm saying. So I'm making the kinds of videos. Oh, game. I've learned to be chill about it, but it makes me so furiously angry when it does that. Oh, it's distracting. It's terrible in like every possible way. It's terrible, and I have no idea what's causing it, other than shadow play. That's all I know. And it's just ATS and ETS. I don't know if it's drivers, I don't know if it's compression, I don't know if it's transferring the video from RAM to SSD. No effing idea. And we're not going to Stobart, are we? Stobart is probably my least favorite place to deliver to. But we're here, and I think we got here with no damage to the trailer. I think so. Alright, a delivery here, got a job dropped off. See how we did. Right. So, 5,500 euro. We're leveling up a little bit more slowly now. What were the things that we wanted to look at? We wanted to look at Jobs out of here, where we are. Right? Anything going into Romania? That's sort of down the way that we want to go. There we go. That's the one we want. Okay, these jobs don't typically change a whole lot. Or you know what? We could just take it right now. We don't have to hop in. We could just take it right now. I mean, okay, it is going to put us in there, but I'm going to quit out of the game right now. But we got that job, so we're going at least the right direction. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.